All right, so test is going to be on Thursday, whole chapter test. When I started this chapter, I said this chapter is as close to physics as it gets, right? Because why is this similar to physics? It's just formulas. You have to know your formulas. You have to know when to use your formulas, right? So let's see if we know our formulas. What are our arithmetic ones? A sub n equals A1 plus D n minus 1. What's the geo version of that? A sub n equals K. Those formulas. When do we use those? What are they? What kind of problems are they used for? Okay, we got to find the term number, right? If I'm looking for the 73rd term, what else do we use those formulas for? To write your sigma notation, because what goes in the parentheses there? What's that called? It's the general term. So if you're looking for your general term, you're writing one of those, right? Or if you know a term number, we can write an equation for that, right? So that's what those are for. What are our main S sub n formulas? So this is n times A1 plus AN over 2. What's the main formula over here? A1, 1 minus r to the n. When do we use those? With the sum of a bunch of terms, right? And these are the main ones we're going to use, right? Or if I know the sum of a bunch. Our hybrids are just that. It's a combination of these two formulas. You can survive without the hybrids, but it just creates a problem of, with these, I might be able to do the problem in one step, where otherwise I got to do it in 2 steps. So the first hybrid is n times 2a1s, n minus 1, over 2. And our hybrid over here was a1 minus r a sub n, right? And again, those are just in special situations I would use those. And then the last formula that we have to know is over here is just the S, which is A1, 1 minus R. When the only time I can use that is when R is less than 1. And it's an infinite problem, right?
Did you have one on the quiz that we were supposed to use the RAN on?
No, there was not one on the quiz that you needed to use that. The only way you would need this is you're looking for the sum.
Yeah.
I don't know the number of terms.
Okay.
But for some reason I know the last term.
Oh.
So if I had a problem like 4, 8, I don't even know if this works, 5,062. I don't even know if you multiply by 2 and you'll get there. But let's say you do. I don't know what term that is. It might be the 30th term, might be the 5th term, I don't know. If this was the case, and I know my R, then I'm multiplying by 2, right? The next term would be 16 and so on. If I know this is geometric, and I know I can multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2, and somehow get there, give me a number that's close to somewhere in that, a big number that would be in that pattern. Let's go 16 times 2 raised to the 15th power. Great. Great. That's the problem. That's some term number. I don't know what term number it is. But what do I know? I know the first term. I know the R, right? Huh?
5062.
Did it?
Yep.
Man, I'm a genius.
I think it works.
It's 3,531 times 2. Is that not what I'm doing?
Yeah, but then divided by 2 again, it doesn't work.
But anyway, you get to here. This would be a situation that I would use that hybrid formula because I don't know n here, right? I don't know how many terms this is. But I know the first term. I know the r. I know the last term, right? And 1 minus r. That's probably about the only situation I'm going to use that hybrid formula in. Or I know the sum and I'm looking for the last term or something like that. That's a way of using that. Other than that, I'm probably not using that formula. Generally speaking, in this chapter, if you can figure out what formula to use, which of these formulas that you actually want to use, then generally speaking, you can find the right answer. That's usually the case. Now, I feel very confident that almost everybody in this room, it's not a matter of pass-fail. It's a matter of A, B, C on this test. And the difference between an A minus and an A is just the arbitrary random question that you may or may not forget how to do, like the mean proportionals or the what do you do when they give you two terms problem. So here's what I want everybody to do. Partner up. Get a partner. Find a partner. Go sit by him. A partner that you think can help you. Okay? In virtual, call somebody. Set up a Zoom meeting. Call me. Come to my Zoom meeting. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to open up to page 376. This is where the chapter began. 376. And with your partner, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go back through. I don't want you to write anything down. I don't want you to solve anything. I just want you to talk your way through it. Section by section. So here's the discussion I would want to have. Those first questions, like number 1, oh, that's a recursive definition. All that means is add 4, add 4, add 4. So it'd be 5, 9, 13, blah, blah, blah. Those are easy. Those are the questions that, if you know how to do those, that's super easy. That should be the easiest question on the whole test. But you'd be surprised in how many times I see people get that wrong because they forget about the recursive definitions. What I want you to do is go section by section in each of these. Look at questions 1 through 6. Then look at questions 7 through 12. Then go to 13 through 18. And just kind of have a short discussion of how to solve each of those. You know, you get to number 19. What do you always do when you have two random terms? You use your A sub n equations, right? Set up a system of equations. If it's arithmetic, what do you do with your two equations once you set them up? You subtract. Ooh, what about the geometric ones? If it's the same problem as geometric, I set them up, but then I have to divide. That's the kind of discussion I want you to have right now with a partner, because if you can figure out what formula to use, you should be okay. You're going to do well on the test. But in order to get like 100, you have to remember all the weird little questions. Like, what do I do with how do you insert the 3 arithmetic means? Oh yeah, that's A sub 1. You insert 3, that would make the last term like the 5th term. You set up an equation, and that's how I would solve that. Does that make sense? When you're done with section 1, I want you to go to section 2. And that's all I want you to do today, is we're just going to have a quick discussion, go all the way back through the chapter, and talk yourself through each type of question. Because that's how you're going to get the 100 on the test, is you remember, oh, how do I do mean proportional? Well, just multiply and square root. That's an easy one. Okay? And I'm going to float around. Go.